I feel
And
like
that's
that's
what
the
that
best.
cream was for.
Oh, damn.
My favorite part of this is we're gonna watch this later, and all of us are gonna go, "Oh crap! What was it he said right before this?"
Ah.
Oh,
When
Do all of you know
when the
that
light goes
Joseph-
on, when it says on air, Ryan immediately becomes Dado.
do all of you know an actor by the name of Joseph Manganiello?
Yes.
No.
What
What
happened?
does he play?
He's
Dungeons
played a
and
bunch of bit
Dragons.
roles, but he does. He runs a celebrity version of Dungeons and Dragons, including the Big
okay.
Show plays in his game, Vince Vaughn, a bunch of others. However,
Oh,
his name,
Vin Diesel's in his game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
his name, and the phrase Dragonlance TV series has been put together.
I know. Archon the Terrible is getting his own fucking show, and I'm dying.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be
The-
awesome.
The cartoon movie they released a few years ago was actually pretty good, and I was really hoping they'd do the other books.
The thing is that Joseph Manganiello was one of those dark horse people because he was essentially like a B movie actor and a bodybuilder, and then he became D&D famous, and then everything started getting like this, where all of a sudden his professional acting career is nowhere near as impressive anymore as everything he's putting into D&D. He has an entire D&D like clothing line. There's D&D
He's in
gaming
Magic
supplies.
Mike. Like he's but what? I did not know this about him.
He is?
He's
Magic Mike.
dating. No, he isn't Magic Mike. He was in Magic.
He was
Mike.
in it.
wait, what's his name?
Joseph
He's
Manganiello.
dating- Oh God,
I-
what is her name? She's like incredibly gorgeous too. Like they're both like, what is her name? Really?
Oh.
How?
That guy.
Yes.
Ah.
Wow.
Oh.
Sorry, but the first pictures that come up, they make you
So-
blush.
Sophia
Oh.
Vergara.
Google.
She dates Sophia Vergara.
Jay's not in the room, is he, Heather?
No, he's with the children.
Love that, Jay.
He dates her.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so Joseph Manganiello doesn't just run the biggest celebrity D&D game in town. He also runs an entire sort of network of celebrity D&D players. So if you are in a certain place and you want to play a game, you can usually rope together 3 or 4 people because Joe knows all of them.
Oh, he was also in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
And One Tree Hill and Spider-Man. All of the Magic Mike movies,
Oh, that guy.
including the new one that's coming out this year. And True Blood.
Yeah,
I've
the Magic
never
Mike is on
seen
my list
any of the Magic Mike things.
Insane. Wow, so cool.
Mhm.
That was the only distraction that I had on purpose. You have my full attention.
Distracted.
I think this is really funny that like the first 10 minutes of this recording is everybody gushing about Joe Manganiello.
And since we're recording, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. He is very pretty. There's
Oh,
something about
yes.
him. Oh my
Google
God.
did it. It's Google's fault.
It's Google's fault.
Right. Sure. Why not? Yeah, anyway, so welcome back.
Child.
To address something super quick, I don't know who is regularly or ever checking stuff in the Discord server, but I've been posting stuff up in there. Especially today, I had posted up something. I can just tell you what it is.
Okay.
Ryan and I had a conversation today where he made the observation that GoDaddy employees are supposed to get a wellness day tomorrow. And it was inquiring how late we were going to run D&D tonight. And I wanted to go ahead and put it to you that I have no plans of making us go any later than we want to go. The only wish that I would have is that we don't break in the middle of something. So I know that unless we sort of get sidetracked with other things, that this game might end up with us in the night market for the first time. So if that ends up being the case, I don't want anyone to feel pressured into continuing onward, but I also want everyone to know that I'm open to go as late as we want to go.
I have to go to work in the morning.
She
I'm
has to
so
work in the
happy
morning.
for all of you that get a wellness day. But I don't.
I still have to get up at 5:30 too. So
Ew.
yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
Hey,
I get the
Miles.
next wellness day.
You have to get up early too.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't have to get up early. I'm just saying I don't have anywhere to be except that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
true.
I
I
can
have to
take the
get up-
kids to school and then go back to sleep.
I have to
Actually,
get up early enough to shovel the driveway, and then after that, I can go back to sleep. And William, oh yeah, lots and lots of that.
I'm funny.
hey,
that
but what if
doesn't-
you did take the kids to school in the morning?
Okay.
Okay,
He just agreed
that
to
means I
it.
can go straight to work. It means I get to go straight to work and I don't have to and then to work. I just have to until you said that just now. Oh yeah.
I've never cared. I just usually am driving into the city.
I know. This is so delightful. Sorry, y'all.
Anyway,
So,
so anyway, I just want to put it out there that when we get close to that time, if anyone wants to jet, just sort of tell me and we'll just cut things.
I have a little bit of flexibility,
Mhm.
but probably no more than a half an hour.
I'm not expecting to take any more time than we need to. It's more like if, I don't know, somehow you will get engaged in combat, can we finish the combat?
Mm,
Like that kind of thing. Like I try regardless of where we're at to go, okay, well, it's time and cut. But given that we have a little bit of whatever, you know what I mean? So, but I'm gonna let y'all steer the ship on that because I'm good with whatever. Just if we get to that point and you need to call it and nobody else has called it, call it.
mm.
I have a hard stop at 4 a.m. Okay, it's not.
I have a hard stop at 10 p.m.
Man, Ryan, you are slaying me tonight, sir. All right. So yeah, I guess we pick up where we left off. You were all inside that room in the leaky bucket.
Yeah.
So Dadu and Emir, you were staying up watching. Were you both taking watch at the same
No.
time?
We had been watching. We heard the quote unquote creature go out. We had Kiddo follow it. Kiddo was coming back because it went out of range. He and
Right.
I both went to sleep, leaving nobody watching anything.
That's right.
I'm laying in front of the door.
Yeah, he is laying in front of the door, and I'm laying near the window.
Yeah. And they recognized something about
the creature that left the building, right? Like this smell or
We thought it looked kind of like Gregor, but black and tarry.
that.
whoa, where did Ryan go? That was weird.
There he is.
What? Because I needed to. Okay.
No, I just don't know if I know that we jump on security. It worked.
Anyway.
So, yeah. Is it morning? yet?
Yes, it's morning. In fact, it's just barely daybreak. So you can see the first warm light of day trickling in through the window above you. You can hear the birds outside singing, and the breeze that's blowing through is ringing all of the tiny silver bells that ring or hang from strings throughout the major streets of the city.
Okay, so when the group's awake, I'm gonna go ahead and tell them what we saw last night. Consider yourselves told.
Does anybody need a recap on that? Okay, cool. Awesome. Oh, did you, Heather?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think Gregor sounds like he might be cursed. We should try to help our friend.
So with that, I'm gonna ask our new friend River. How good are those skills of yours at unlocking locked doors?
I'm very good at unlocking locked doors.
Would you mind accompanying me down to
I'm
Gregor's
sort of
room?
good at unlocking locked doors.
Yeah, would you mind accompanying me down to Gregor's room? I'm gonna politely knock very quietly. And then I might just ask you to open the door for me. Would you mind?
Sure.
What would be a sense motive roll in 5e?
Yeah, like
Insight?
I don't wanna do that.
Why do you want to do that?
What was that?
Why do you want to get into his room?
So, well, last night I had Kiddo look around through windows and such, and the room looked very interesting. So I just want to get in there and see if we can get more information on what might be happening with our friend.
So you can help him because you're a friend.
Right,
Okay,
he's my friend.
yeah.
In fact, he actually knows me as friend.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I'll help you.
Thanks.
Miles.
It's a guy thing. Once you fought each other or fought next to each other, you're friends for life. It's just, it's a thing.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Should I tick Lyrica on?
You don't technically have her yet.
Okay, okay, cool. Just
So-
checking.
Yeah. So stick with the one you got for the moment.
Love the one you're with.
So, Torch, do you have any objection to us heading down to Gregor's room and seeing if we can't get some more information? I'd bother the barkeep, but he's all interested in money and I don't want to bother him.
Not at all.
Wrong on. So Miles, I think that's what we're, or excuse me, yeah, Miles, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So I want to go down there and I want to very quietly knock on the door and say, do you mind if we come in? Very quietly.
Okay. So the upper floor has like one big hallway that's up at the top of the stairs. There's your room that's over on the right. There's the room that you know is Gregor's room that is across on the left from the stairs. And then there's one dead center, which was the smaller room that you had passed by. So you're crossing the hall over to Gregor's door and trying to announce yourself, kind of.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so
Is our bard trying to pass drugs to somebody or?
Why?
you don't hear any response, Ryan.
Okay, that's oh, what a bummer. River, can you go ahead and just open that door for me?
Uh-huh. Heather,
What?
Sure thing.
Lyrica?
Where's my, what do I need to roll?
Oh, it's a painkiller. I was trying to mess with you, but it's actually a painkiller.
I don't know what you have to roll for that.
What do I need to roll?
What are you trying to do? You're trying to pick a lock?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're going to
sleight of hand.
you're going to roll sleight of hand, and you're going to get to roll it with advantage, plus your proficiency modifier.
Okay, so when I click on the little square next to click.
Right click and roll advantage.
Roll advantage.
Because you have thieves tools.
Got it. Keep roll.
Oh,
no.
look. 27. Yeah, you make short work of this thing. Stick your pick inside and twist, and the lock pops right open. Wow.
Stick your pick inside and twist.
That is such a cool.
Great. Thank you kindly, River.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
You're muted.
I know, my volume, my microphone's messed up.
Oh, okay.
It was giving me really bad feedback.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna walk on in.
Okay.
If I try to stealthily walk in and I get caught, somebody might assume I was trying to break into this room.
Oh yeah, gosh, you don't want that.
Being I'm doing a wellness check on my friend, I have nothing to hide.
That's
Just
true.
real quick, as a paladin, I'm just gonna stand out in the hallway and I'm just gonna say a mantra or just a quick prayer to my God.
Mhm.
And stare at the door that he just walked through. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not going near it.
Gotcha. That makes me curious. Amir, what are you a paladin of? Who's your god?
The dwarven god of metalsmithing, I think.
So as I can see Ymir doing that prayer and everything, I'm just gonna turn back and look at him real quick and say, are you taking the advice and staying in the cart this time? Always a wise idea.
Yeah, I found it. Demethian.
That's it.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I made note of that in my stuff now.
Are you
Anyway.
distracted, Heather?
No, why?
Oh, 'cause-
No, I'm looking at my spells. I got this new one, but I don't know if I like it.
I know what that's like.
It seemed
All the
cool at the
spells.
time.
Right, you gotta figure out the dosage and the cut and how much you're gonna charge people for it.
That's a different kind of medicine. Anyway. Yeah, so you push the door open, it swings freely, but you hear it thud up against something. Not like hard like a wall or a stone, more like soft. Like imagine like if you pushed a door open and it hit into a wet bag of garbage.
Ew.
I agree. All right, well,
As the door opens, it's pitch black inside, even though you know that it's light outside right now. And there is this sort of smell. It's not like a stench. It's not like this overwhelming putridness. It's more like this acrid smell, like the kind of smell of kerosene or like a lot of bleach. Like it's sort of overwhelming in this sort of absence of a smell. You immediately pick up on that. That's being incredibly odd. You've never smelled anything like this.
So can we do an insight check to see if we recognize it? Oh, no, you just said we don't.
I can't hear you at all, so I had to take my earphones out.
Can we do an insight check? To see if we recognize it, but then I realized you said we do not. recognize.
Yeah, you don't recognize them. Anyway,
so it's just pitch black inside.
it is.
Huh.
You
know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and walk inside anyway.
As you see Lord Dadu take a step inside, he doesn't step into a dark room and sort of go between the shadows. He's just gone. Like he stepped into a wall painted black and vanished. Ryan, all around you, you get this weird, eerie feeling like the air is too thick. And you start to recognize that you can see plain as day in here, but you couldn't from the outside. It's like everything is almost not grayscale, like sepia tone. Like it's not quite right.
Longer in Kansas, Toto.
Kansas would be a way better place to be right now. So what can I see in there?
So the room is essentially decorated similarly to yours. It's just a little bit smaller. There's a table with a basin, like a wash basin, and a pitcher. There's some chairs and a table that have been pushed all the way up against one of the walls. There's a standing chest of drawers. But that has been just torn to splinters, and you can only just barely tell what it is because of the frame of what was left. But the thing that is the most eye-catching is that in the center of the room, about 15 feet in diameter, it looks almost like a nest, but the walls and floor of it have been made out of some sort of animal remains. Yeah, skulls and pelts, but it is just horrible to sort of take in. But the thing that is absolutely confusing to you is that with all of this in front of you, and it does not look like it has been kept well, it doesn't look like it's been preserved. It looks foul. There's no smell from it. It's just not there at all.
Are there any creatures in this room with me? Has the one that went out last night returned?
You don't see any creatures in here.
Can I still see Gregor's hammer?
Yes,
Is it still where it was before?
it is.
Okay. So is there anything of note or anything that we can discern what's going on? Any information we can really gather from this that we couldn't gather last night?
You can try making an investigation roll if you want to search the room.
Let's do
Right
that.
now, Ryan, you're the only one in there though.
Right, well,
If he yelled, would we
Yes.
hear him?
Well, we haven't tested that.
so I did not roll well. In fact, my passive investigation is better.
Oh, dude. Okay, so you sort of search around the room, and beyond what I described to you, there's not a lot to find. But kicking the edges of that that sort of nest as you move about the room, you see these little scarab beetles, maybe about 3 or 4 inches long, that sort of scatter out from underneath it and then squirm in between the cracks in the wood.
Oh, gross. Is there anything in here that resembles a torch or a lamp or something that you could use for light? You know, like you use for like the wood or something you'd use for a torch.
So there was an oil lamp that's been crushed up against the wall, and then there was also a chandelier that has been pulled down and thrown against the wall, and it's sort of sticking in there. Imagine Captain America's shield.
Okay. Now, with all the destruction though, is there like a good piece of wood that I could use as a torch?
Sure, absolutely.
Great. I'd like to cast Eldritch Blast on that so I can light it up.
Would that actually
Okay.
cause a fire?
Well, yeah, but also it'll hit whatever's beyond the wood.
Maybe I don't want to use that then.
You do have you do have flint and tinder in your pack, so you can just light a fire.
Oh, fine. I'll just do that.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
don't accidentally
Thanks.
kill everything.
Oh,
Now-
you guys not letting me Eldritch Blast everything.
Jeez. Now, in doing that, I'm curious with the blackness, does it do anything?
You can see the flames, but the flames to you don't even look as bright as they should. They're just there. Almost like they've been painted in front of you and not so much like they flutter about like flame is supposed to. But it doesn't seem like it changes the way that the room looks to you.
Okay, so
Which you right there, passive perception should be able to pick up that you're actually seeing in the dark.
oh yeah. I mean, I know I'm seeing in the dark. So with that, I'm gonna try the fun part here. I'm gonna try to leave the way I came.
Okay.
Before he does that, you said that he disappeared from sight from us, right?
Yep.
Would we be able to tell or sense that this is a magical something, or like how do we
It's not
detect-
something, it's not something that you would ambiently get. It would be a thing that if you wanted to, you could use like detect magic or something like that to be able to tell if it's magical and what school of magic it comes from. Or you could use the identify spell. Or you could try and use an arcana check, but really your character wouldn't have any reason for it because like none of you have even walked into the room except for Ryan. So you don't know if it's just pitch black in there until you've tried or until Ryan says something.
I was just wondering if we would have sensed something, power or magic or something coming off of it.
No, you don't. There's no like special mojo coming off of this that says dark magic or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, Ryan, so
Do I reappear back in the hallway?
yeah, you walk back through the opening that you came through and you step right back out into the light, the torch still in your hand.
Is it-
And you can not just see the flames now as bright as they should be, but you can hear them crackling in the wood and smell the wood burning, which you couldn't in there.
Hmm. So I'm going to convey to all of my colleagues all that I've quote unquote learned, and also tell them that while this is disturbing to me, I mean, all of it's disturbing. The fact that there's no sound in there, there's no smell in there, there's no light in there. This fire doesn't exist in there. I mean, it's there, but it doesn't do anything. The only beings in that room look like a bunch of scarab beetles when I accidentally kicked the nest. So as much as I want to investigate this, you all probably can't see in there. I can see just fine, but you all probably won't be able to see in there. And so I don't know that there's a whole lot we can do, and we've got other fish to fry today. What's up, Yamar?
I had dark vision. Was that what you were using in there, or something else to see?
I
I
also have dark
had-
vision.
I can see everywhere all the time. There is nothing that escapes my sight.
Essentially, both of you are asking how a fish breathes water. He doesn't understand how you don't. Because he just can.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
Call it a gift
So
from my
then-
mom.
Then the question is to the DM. Dark vision work in there?
You'd have to test it. That is an answer
Anybody
from
wanna
the
do that,
DM.
or are we moving on?
I mean, y'all can go in there if you want. There should be nothing that will harm you in there, but there's also not a whole lot you can really do in there either. Try not to step on a beetle. We don't want to leave any evidence that we were really there.
I'm okay with
did
it.
you? What, Heather?
Oh, I said I'm okay with chatting.
Okay.
It's
Do we want to move on to an objective, or do we want to see if we can track down Gregor?
Well, first, I'm gonna say to River. River, can I have you go ahead and lock that door again?
You don't even have to make a roll with a 27. You're great.
You
You essentially have the key.
so
Yeah, I picked it up with the barkeep's bell last night.
Nice. I applaud that. Way to go. So Kiddo lost Gregor 5 mile or a mile or 5 a ways out of our way, going toward an area we haven't been to yet.
Yes, going towards the summer quarter.
Yeah. And as much as I really want to go take that on, I've had this question burning in my mind all last night, all the time we were in the tavern and everything. And I need an answer to it. Because if I'm not the scariest thing in town, well, it might hurt my ego. So I gotta know what beat up Emil. And if that means I gotta go back to Emil and just ask, I'm okay with that. I promise not to burn down his shop. Unless he really, really aggravates me.
See, always a catch. Always a catch.
Hey, look, you're the good one. But I want to know what beat up Emil and why. I mean, one of
Fair
two
enough.
reasons. One, it could be something fantastic for us to, it could be a job. Or two, it could be a friend. It could go either way. But I bet my good friend River, who just unlocked and relocked that door for me and everything, probably cares what beat up her friend.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
curious about that.
So the way I see it, we got 3 things to accomplish today. One of us would like to, at least one of us would like to visit the Wizard's Tower for completely unselfish reasons. One of us would like, some of us would like to go back to the blacksmith and see if anything's been finished. And we'd like to see what beat up Emil. Am I missing anything?
Also, we should take a midday nap or so if we're planning on staying out in the night market all night.
I agree.
We don't know what's coming for us in that, and so, you know, it's probably best to be well rested for that as well. So that might be a 4th thing to add to your list there. But as much as I find it fun to hang out with you guys all day and everything, I'm okay with all of us going our separate ways for this. Hello, Embrito.
I've got one final question for Ryan. Gregor's hammer, did it seem, was there anything about it that stood out to you?
No, it looked like his hammer, which disturbs me because what we saw the other last night did not look like Gregor. Get it. So, and I mean that nest, it's made of bone and fur and flesh and gross beetles. So while I couldn't tell that was Gregor, I also can't tell that it wasn't Gregor. So it could have been something that killed Gregor, or as Tom pointed out, it could be whatever, you know, our good friend might have turned into something else. This could also just be mating season for his race, and maybe that's how he nests. I mean, he did pay for the room in cash, and a whole lot of it.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought of that.
Wow, I've gotten boring in my old age.
The mating habits of minotaurs.
We don't know.
So, okay, 2 final questions. They lead to both real quick. Ryan, do you want to eventually find Gregor?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
how about,
I said absolutely.
okay, so how about I go in the room and I get the hammer and he comes to us?
Well, if someone's going back in the room for the hammer, it should probably be the guy who can see. But you're welcome to come with me.
I would like to come with you just to see if I can see in there as well.
I like this idea, but you're also asking for this entire group to prepare for a fight in case whatever that is rather unhappy that we stole from it.
Well, that's why I didn't just step in there and go do it. I'm asking the opinion of my comrades.
The
Wow.
other thing I want to point out is that if that one oddity that Ryan mentioned is true, and he is in fact nesting, we're taking his weapon away. And he's our friend.
That's fair. I was also thinking that maybe something either A, killed or just stole from him his hammer, and he might want to have it back.
Mm.
In which case, the creature that stole it, 50-50 shot, it comes after us, or we just hold on to the hammer until we eventually run into him again and we can return it. Second, if it is him as a creature, that would, this hammer, I would guess that it means something to him, which would make him actually want to seek out the people that stole his hammer, and we can at least get some answers. I mean, based on some of the things that we've taken on, I'm pretty sure we can handle ourselves with whatever, if he's been cursed and turned into something, and drawing him to us would make it easier to help him get rid of whatever ailment is currently afflicting him. And then the all important third, if it is mating season, I'm pretty sure this is not the shaft that he needs to be dealing with right now. We can eventually just return it after we find some information. The Wizard's Tower is probably going to have some information on Minotaur mating season. If that turns out, I'll return it with an apologetic note.
Speaking of notes, I'd be quite okay to leave a note that says, "Hey, Gregor, we borrowed your hammer. Yours, your friend. But I do want you to remember, as far as notes go, Gregor's not exactly the brightest crayon in the box. He's not a sharp
That's
tool,
fair.
he's a blunt tool. But wow, is he a great blunt tool."
Well, and we're also here for 2 more nights, and so is Gregor. So, I mean, we want to draw him to us. We're both staying in the same place. We could do our things during the day and check Gregor out tonight.
That's true.
Also true.
If
Good
Gregor
call.
follows the same pattern, Gregor's gonna leave this place at night. We could always just follow then. Or, stumble upon it the night after we're done with the night market. So yeah, I kind of like the idea of not drawing him to us, but rather we can seek him out in a hopefully less threatening way.
Question for Miles. The armor. I want to say, and probably Heather has notes on this, but I want to say we did vest, bracers, belt, and then my armor. Right? In
And
that order?
and a belt buckle. Oh, and a belt, sorry.
I'd have to look in
Sorry.
the chat.
I want to say it was it was vest for Heather, bracers originally was going to be for Ryan, a belt for Kelly, but I think that got reversed.
Oh.
And then it was my full armor set. But it was in that order.
I don't have any notes here, but I believe you.
Okay,
I don't appear to have them either, I guess.
I forgot to write it down too. My bad.
Fantastic. Let's write it down this time.
Heather, do you mind?
Yeah, I will do the thing.
All my pens and paper are downstairs, so.
I
Although you were
love having a bard in the party.
All right, ready? Originally it was bracers for me, moldable, augmented for Kelly, whatever that's supposed to be. A vest for Heather, an armor set for William, and a shoulder armor for Brooke. It's in the Get D&D channel.
Oh,
Where did
is
you
it?
find it? I was in
I
there.
searched for the word vest in the Get D&D channel.
Hot.
I was looking for blacksmith in my notes and I was like, nope, didn't write it down.
William was kind enough to give it to us in the D&D channel because he doesn't keep a pen and paper up there.
All right.
Between
But my-
cats and the dog, someone's going to eat it.
But mine got changed to a belt instead of bracers because I already have bracers.
Yep,
They're called
there
finger
it
guns.
is. Not like that, but I pinned it.
Okay. And
Yep.
does it say on there how long that each one takes?
No, it does not.
Okay. So how do we feel about checking on the blacksmith, the tower? And actually, no, I take that back. How do you feel about the blacksmith, Emil, and maybe the tower?
Should we stick together? Or do you want to break up or?
Oh,
well, not
no,
break up.
no, together. Mm-mm,
Okay.
no, together.
Sounds
Uh-uh,
like
I don't break up a
Lord
band.
Daddy
But-
was advocating for more than one group.
Didn't something bad happen last time I went to the thing?
That's a good point. Last time we went to the blacksmith, we met some unfriendly folk.
Mm,
So maybe I shouldn't go back there.
Say should or should not? Well, I mean, if we did
Should
want to
not.
split, if we did want to split the party, River and I could always go see Emil.
I am friends with-
Yes, I'm friends with Emil. That would be great.
And everybody else could go visit the blacksmith. I mean, last time we were there, last time we were at the blacksmith, I did try to kill all three of them. And Heather did, excuse me, Tonks did save one of them from dying. Not that they
Heather, what do you say?
I will go with you.
Wait, do you mean split or do you mean all stick together? Or do you mean you'll go with him to the blacksmith and we'll go to Emil?
So what I
Yeah.
understand so far is that Lord Dadu and River are going to Emil, and Tonks and Emir are going to the blacksmith. I do not know what Torch is doing.
Blacksmith.
I was,
Blacksmith.
I'd like to go. with Blacksmith. Yes. I think we're okay with splitting the party. Divide and conquer.
Hey,
The leader
Yeah.
said something.
Famous last words.
Ha.
Yumar, if you go to the blacksmith, see if my belt's ready. And see if she could hammer out that belt buckle for me to make it all, not bloody and half crunched.
will do.
Thank you.
But I think the most famous adventurer's last words were, well, that didn't work.
I don't know who that adventurer is and everything, but I prefer the line, stay in the cart.
No ticket.
That's.
So yeah,
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So do we want to roll for which group goes first, or does anybody care which group goes first?
Easy, whatever.
All right. Ryan, since you're the one that proposed the split tonight, would you like to go first, or would you like the other group to go first? I'll let you make the choice.
we can go first. I don't care.
Cool. Awesome. So the Leaky Bucket is very near Emil's shop. We've already established that it's very close to Trader's Bend. So you're able to get there very quickly, maybe 30 minutes. It's still very early, like think maybe 7 a.m. The shops aren't all open yet, but there are a lot of people out there setting up. You see that there is a cluster of livestock that has all been roped in next to the big fountain in the center of the Trader's Bend. Emil's shop is open, which it hasn't been for a couple of days now. When you come through, the door has been shut up. There is, however, a very large cart outside attached to a horse. And Emil is walking back and forth from his shop to the cart and very carefully putting things inside it. He doesn't appear to have noticed you.
All right. So with River next to me and everything, I'm just gonna walk up to Emil with a very, very nice greeting and say, "Hail and well met."
Oh, geez. It's you again.
Good morning to you.
Just to be clear, this is role playing, right?
What?
Sorry.
No,
Why? How?
we have a mutual friend, River. She said that the last time she came and visited you, you were rather banged up. I see that
He's-
you're.
You can see on his face that he is just glazed over and is 100% not listening to Lord Dadu and is now staring daggers at River.
You seem more healed up than that. However, I'm curious, what did that to you? Or who did that to you? And why?
Why are you so curious about me now?
Well, the last time we encountered each other, it was less than cordial. And although I don't regret the last encounter whatsoever and everything, you seem to have gotten your butt kicked since then, and you're packing up. And if I'm not the most fearsome thing in town and everything, well, then part of me kind of wants to know what is. But also, you are a trader of goods and relics, and you have a lot of information. I think it's handy to have that in a town.
Make a persuasion check.
Mhm.
That was pretty impressive.
No, you didn't say anything. This is all Ryan right now.
No, that, oh yeah.
13. That's perception. I wanted persuasion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Wrong one. There. Take that, Scott.
All right, another 13. You are destined to have a 13 for this roll. Let me see. Let me roll in for Leo.
If I use my inspiration, do I get the better of the two rolls?
If you use your inspiration, do you get the better of the two rolls? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, like if I roll persuasion again, would I get the better of the two rolls?
If you use inspiration, you get a re-roll. You don't get to have advantage.
Okay, never mind then.
So
It could be better. Could be
there's
worse.
there's the opportunity for improvement.
However, River could roll to assist me.
River can roll to assist you. You're right, Ryan. So
How do I do that?
So then you would have to roll a persuasion check, and if you can hit the DC, then Ryan gets a bonus.
Persuasion. Do I get to roll with advantage or just?
Just regular.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Ow!
You rolled a Heather.
Heathers.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are
What
river numbers
happened?
here.
Oh,
No,
you
that's
can't,
pretty much what we're used to you doing as well.
like, you can't pass that off too quickly, Heather. You are the one that rolled 3 20s in one session.
Yeah,
That's the kind of stuff that sounds made up. I'm just gonna say it outright. I was here for it, and I still am like,
How good of a
oh,
hacker is she?
it is a damn shame that River wasn't the one that made the persuasion check here, because a 25 would be groundbreaking. But yeah, Ryan, your persuasion check, you've got a +5.
Oh, well, that's good. So that gives
So,
me an
18.
18.
Um,
Persuasion.
you see him visibly tense, like his whole body sort of just the last time you and I had dealings, you covered my shop in ashes. I find it really hard to believe you. And he looks hard at River again. Anyone that you're running with right now. But if you want to hear what's going on in this city, if you want to know what's going on with me, sure, I'll tell you. I'm on my way out anyway.
So what's going on?
one of the guilds is trying to get me to run items for them that I feel unsafe in doing. I've done it once. It didn't work out well for me. And ever since then, they've been trying to pay me back for it.
And by pay you back, you mean kill you or just make your life really not fun, huh?
I don't know if they'd kill me or not. I think that that would sort of ruin the game for them. But yes, they've been making my life a living hell.
This guild got a name? And at
You don't
that,
want-
I'm gonna show him the 3 sigils that I've collected from the last group that we came in contact with, and I'm gonna say, this is what happened when the last group of from a guild messed with me. So if I'm going up against another one, okay. They got a name?
All right. All right. What do you know about the Court of Sparrows?
I know that,
Probably know a lot, but I can't remember.
what's that?
Sorry, trying to unmute. I probably know a lot about
About them,
right?
right?
Roll a history check with advantage.
Awesome.
Can I assist with that at all?
Sure.
I mean, you can try.
You won't get yours with advantage, Ryan, but
She doesn't need it. Never mind. Kiddo, she rolled a 20. My daughter can't see the rolls.
yeah. Yes. So the Court of Sparrows. Should I just assume you're going to tell them everything? Yes.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So yes, imagine for a moment that you get the very quick biopic. The Court of Sparrows are one of the most influential and powerful guilds within the city. And the reason why is that no one knows who they are. They're very secretive. Their members do not display any type of sigil when they're out in the city. It's unknown how many people are in the guild, and they deal exclusively in information. But if Emil's right, it sounds like they might have moved into something more dangerous, like magical goods.
Okay. That sounds interesting to me, especially the information part. So, Emil, what did they want you to run?
They weren't.
Look, you're already wanting to leave town anyway. You're not really giving me a whole lot of information that's really going to be detrimental to you if you cut bait and run anyway, right?
You know, if you stop talking for a minute, I could just tell you.
That's fair.
They weren't trying to get me to run something. They were trying to get me to import something. Well, more recover something that was imported. There was a ship that was coming in from, I don't know, somewhere out west. And it's supposedly had all sorts of interesting items on it. The unfortunate side of it, and the same unfortunate thing that happens to most trading vessels that haven't been to this city, is the reef that surrounds our dear city is treacherous. And so, the goods among anything on that ship were dashed about the rocks and cast out in the reef. It's deadly out there, dangerous. Not the place that anybody should be out in. But there are enough people that are hard up or too wild and mad to be turned off by a little bit of death under the depths. And a little bit of gold will get you a lot then. I found a few things for them, but they kept getting insistent because the things I kept finding, regardless of how amazing they were nothing to them. They were looking for this talisman. And they said that it was in with a bunch of other specialty items, a crystal ball, a magic carpet. There was something else. Oh, yes. And he turns around and pushes aside a bunch of things inside of a box and pulls out this wooden box that's about the size of a Monopoly board. And this.
What's that?
It's a plain wooden box, just describing it to you. It's a plain wooden box, stained dark red. The cover of it has what looks to be a sun, just a bunch of big rays coming off of it. The exterior of it looks like it was banded with big leather bands and tight buckles, but that's been eroded by the sea. The wood itself has also been pretty badly racked, but it's held together. And Emil opens it up like a briefcase and shows you the interior of this thing. It's a plain wooden box, but the interior is lined with this dark, deep sort of blue-black velvet. And there are 4 indentations in it that are about the size of, think like a dollar-sized coin, larger than a quarter, almost about the same size as a sigil. So they were trying to find this and whatever went in it. They said that it had something to do with a talisman that yada yada, great unfathomable power. Every person that wants to rule the world thinks something like that.
Let's see. You got a use for the box now?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've risked a lot to keep it at this point. It seems sort of silly for me to get rid of it.
Okay. I want our interaction today to be more pleasant than the last one, so I'll leave it at that. If you want to hold on to it, that's fine. The cart here looks like you're packing up to leave. You going on vacation for a while, or are you?
Of
doing for
question.
good?
What's the question, River?
Would it be helpful for either Dado or I to do a history or insight check on this box?
Let's see. You could both roll history with disadvantage.
Nice. Oh,
As far as you know, River, wood comes from trees. Dado, you don't recognize the box. It doesn't stand out as anything that you would have heard in any sort of legend or myth or history or anything like that. But that symbol on there, it does remind you of something. it's odd how similar it is to the symbol that you saw on the jewelry from the man in gold you met in the second game session of this campaign.
Hmm.
You remember that group as being what?
The dude who was running around with the spear and all the gold and, okay.
Yep. It's the symbol of the Bronze Eye Trading Company.
Emil, these sparrows, they're obviously hard to pin down, find, locate, and everything. If I wanted to make myself known to them and let's just say get a meeting with them, what's the best way to do so?
Their leader is always at the night market.
Is he easily identifiable there? Or would my good friend here, River, know who this sparrow is?
Make an insight check, Ryan.
Ah, there it is. Forever to find. Oh, look. Oh, all right.
Yay!
Okay.
Nice.
So the look on Emil's face is somewhere in between levity and straight up terror. But the words that he says, you can tell very plainly how truthful they are. You'll know who he is. And if you can keep me safe, I can point him out to you. But if they see me, I could be dead.
Emil, if you're with me, they'll go through me before they get to you.
Are you willing to bet on that?
When it comes to those I travel with, I don't bet. I'll tell you for sure. They will go through me before they get to you.
All right. And he takes one of the 2 silver bracelets off of his wrist and he hands it to you. Put it on.
What is it?
It's going to make sure that you're honest with me.
As a rule of thumb, that's really against what I do, but in this particular case, sure, why not? And Lord Addy puts it on.
As you do, the 2 little snake heads at the edges of the bracelet bite down into your arm. At the same time they do on him. And now we're linked. If they kill me, you go too. I'm sorry, but I have to be sure if I'm going.
That's fair. But when this is over and everything, if this doesn't come off my arm, you'll go with me.
It'll
Whatever
come off. You just need to have the passphrase.
Okay. And also this means you can stay in town because now you have my protection. And as much as I scared you the first time we met and everything, I will use that veracity with anybody who messes with the people that I'm with.
That's a really stirring speech. I hope you can keep me alive.
I do need you to remember a particular phrase though.
What's that?
If I tell you to stay in the cart, it means Don't go in front of me. Don't go to the side. Don't go toward an enemy. Stay behind me. Because when I cast with everything. And if it doesn't hit, it could hit you. So stay behind me if you want to be safe. I understand you're a tall fella, but stay behind me. Understood?
Yeah. All right.
So this thing means I can't lie to him, right?
You can that it's really more of you said that you would definitely cover him, and he doesn't believe that you would if it was a him or you scenario. So he's now given you essentially the ultimate ultimatum, like either we both make it out or neither of us make it out. It's not about anything to do with your deception rolls.
Great. So I just did the unbreakable vow from Harry Potter.
Sort of, yeah.
Lovely. Okay.
But it's a bracelet, so it'll come off as long as you don't screw him over.
I mean, okay.
That temper in check.
Not about-
Like it's already
There's gotta
on
be a way
you.
around
I
it.
like that he agrees after it's already on him.
No, Bill, go back.
Okay. So I'm gonna hop over to the other group.
Real quick,
Cool.
as we're wrapping up and everything, can we invite him to breakfast? It's early in the morning in the market.
Sure, but he's either going to need some help with moving his things back inside, or he's going to have to take the cart with him because most of his valuables are already packed.
I have no problem helping him move things back in.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Awesome.
So
So
there goes Lord
yeah,
Dato's stamina for the day.
Well, we did want to rest again, remember? I'm just saying.
You're gonna need it.
okay, so Kelly, Heather, William.
Yeah.
So Torch is the leader of this group. What's going on? You're heading back to the blacksmith, up on the far eastern side, northeastern side of Lost Forge. Yeah, so you it doesn't take you much to get through Lost Forge. You do see a lot more activity on the streets now. There are a lot more people in general moving about doing business, but more so than that, you see a lot of very proud guild members sporting their pit baron badges on their belts.
Oh,
There's a lot more activity than there was before. I wonder why. But you don't get hassled. Nobody seems to pay any mind to any of you. None of you have any guild affiliations. And you make it to the wall in pretty quick speed. It takes from where you were to there maybe about an hour, give or take.
I just had one question, and then I was gonna leave it over to Kelly so that she can get us there. I have the necklace that gets us into the Mage's Tower, right?
Yes.
I figured. Okay, just checking. Want to make sure I was honest. All right, Kelly, where are we going?
We're heading to the blacksmith, right? Like what? I mean,
That's the last thing I heard. So you end up getting to the forge, no problem. Once you get there, the gate is wide open, and there's a line of about 5 or 6 other people waiting to get in to see the Forge Maiden. The same little Warforged though hops around the crowd and runs out to greet you, and looks you dead in the face for about a good 30 seconds in awkward silence before it goes, well, welcome back. You are here to pick up your parcels?
yes, please and thank you.
This friend of ours looks a bit less polished than you saw the last time. Perhaps it's been a few too many long nights near the forge. Well, it's a little crowded in there, but if you crowd in, you should be fine. I forget, are are you vulnerable to fire?
No, no, no. Good.
Excellent. Then just stay close. The little dude rolls back around and immediately sort of books for the opening towards the forge. The whole crowd watches as the halfling-sized warforge runs by, and then looks back at you, who is somehow getting to skip the line, and not a one of them seems super impressed by you right now. It takes... You're fine. If you want to interact with these people, feel free, William.
I was torn. How William the Rogue would have responded was different from how William the Paladin should respond. Screw it. I just walked past going,
So you make it inside of the building, and around the forge, it is like white hot. Like it is the hottest summer day, all day, air day in here. The Forge Maiden is at the forge, hammer ringing down on steel, and you see the immediate recognition that someone has entered into her area as she plunges the steel down into the quench and marches back over to you, taking her goggles off. You're a little early.
Just excited.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's good that I always work fast. So she marches over and opens up what looks to be, it must have been some sort of an old vault at some point, but it's now sort of just barely resting together. But it's definitely too heavy for most things to move. As her muscles sort of tense and she sort of pulls this open and pulls out the first of your items. So you needed the bracers first, correct?
That got turned to a belt.
The belt?
yeah, it kind of got modified. Vest, 2 belts, and the armor, and then the shoulder pad.
Kelly's is supposed to be a moldable arm guard for
Yeah?
her bow.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
I finally distinguished what Ermgard was.
Ermgard.
And realized that
This accent, you shouldn't make fun of it because there are many like it, but this one is mine.
Okay, so the list that you told me to go look at, Ryan, isn't correct. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so it's modified. I'm getting a belt. Getting arm guard.
No, I don't need the full list. I need to know what the first thing is, because that's what you're getting today.
Well, the very first thing on the list was a vest for Heather.
Yes,
There you are.
the vest was the first thing.
It's harder than you would imagine to forge dragon scale into anything less than its usual taut and rigid form. It takes high heat and long hours. I hope
right,
you
so we-
appreciate this.
Oh, yes, we appreciate it a great deal. Oh, great, 4G1.
She tucks a long dark hair behind her ear and rests her head on her hand and leans back against the wall. I don't usually bother to ask questions like this, but maybe you can tell me. Where did you get this scale from?
Torch, I make eye contact with you, and by this point, we've been around each other enough that I would imagine that you understand the, do I tell her? Do I not tell her? Kind of getting permission from you.
Found it.
It's not a
Right, we
lie.
don't tell, right? That's all we don't.
I know. Dragon scale is rare and valuable, and if you can find it, you need to try and keep it to yourself how you did it and where you found it. All I'm trying to figure out is if the dragon's still alive. I just need to know that. The look on her face is not anger, it's not malevolence in any way. It's more concern. Do you know?
I think it's okay to say that much. Do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't see any harm in telling her being she's already done stuff for us, and then it seems like she's going to. But like we know it did not survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say something like, it's definitely from a deceased dragon.
Yeah. Sadly, our dragon friend was laid low.
I love bringing a bard. They always put things in the best ways.
It is really hard to hear that.
Oh my gosh, I
It's-
know. I love dragons. They're beautiful. Sorry.
They're majestic. To be certain, I won't refute that. My interest is more personal, and I apologize for that. I should stick to my work. And
I
she
don't
turns
know,
to
you
leave.
started something. Hang on. I'm pretty interested in what you just said. You mind elaborating?
And right before you say anything, Amir, oi, we didn't kill it. We found it. We did nothing, no harm. We didn't even cut it. We just found it.
It's true.
The Great Forge was lit by dragonfire. That's how it came to pass. And if it wasn't for that, then the rest of the city wouldn't have been built the way it was. It went dark about 10 years ago. And it hasn't come back. Some think that it's just because of time, or because it's been used too frivolously. But I think it was because Scovold took the throne. I think that the moment that the Iron Barons became as sour and as bitter as they did, that the flame snuffed itself out. And my hope is that one day the dragons will return and give us back our fire. So, yes, I'm sorry, this is a bit selfish.
I don't think so. Well,
Torch, I really want to give her some information, but I'm not sure. What do you think?
I mean, she believes we found a dragon. A dead dragon, right? Because that story alone is unbelievable. So like I don't think there's any harm in telling him. Like, we didn't kill it itself. We don't I don't see how us providing her any information is going to be harmful.
Yeah, telling her that you found the dead dragon is still different from where you found it. So I
It's
mean, you could elaborate on all of it, but the location itself, and not be risking anything.
Right, but something that she just said kind of stuck in my head. The other dragon was headed towards the city and something shot out and killed said dragon.
Yeah.
If they want the forge to be reactivated, why are they employing weapons strong enough to kill dragons?
Am I to assume that Emir is saying this out loud?
No.
I'm asking William.
Actually, yes, Emir would have said this out loud to Torch. Not a secretive kind of person. He's not a secret agent.
Well, not only that, but I'm sure from Amir's perspective, this isn't something that is necessarily needed to be a secret.
No.
Also true.
At least not in the earshot of the company we're in. Like, I don't want the whole line to know, but
You're saying that something killed a dragon from this city?
You didn't see it.
No.
Oh, Lassie, you missed it. There was a dragon droid death match right out. Well, okay, a few miles outside the city, but there. In for a penny. So there was these two dragons that got into a huge fight, and they were just beating the hell out of each other, causing earthquakes and everything else. Most of us were pretty sure we were about to be the snack afterwards, but one got killed. That was the red dragon that you're dealing with right now. And then the other one that killed it actually started, he was all proud of himself. He started flying away and looked like he could handle himself. And all of us were, if I'm honest with you, we were all a bit terrified because we were pretty sure we were going to be eaten or at least flambéed. And as it got close to the city, we could see from the vantage point that we were at, that something from the city reached out, a magical something. It was like a straight line of magic, just touched it, and then it died. It just I can't. I don't know if this world would have a word for it, exploded, but it was absolutely 100% just wiped out. One shot, one kill. But that doesn't make any sense, because if your city needs a dragon to come in and restart the fire, well, what here would be not only strong enough to kill a dragon, but also what would want to kill a dragon? And how did you not see it? I mean, that was gigantic. It was in the sky. You not ever look up at the sky. I suppose you would be in the forge. That would be down here. You didn't hear about it. Nobody else saw it. All in character, by the way.
That wasn't oh, there was no question. Just so you know.
She goes from being confused to being very interested to being even more confused. I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been in this city for the past 7 years. I haven't seen any dragons come near this city.
Seven years.
Yeah.
If there was a power in this city that was magically or otherwise powerful enough to kill a very old dragon, who would that possibly be?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but the center for all magic in this continent is right there in the center of our city.
we're talking about the Wizard Tower.
Yeah.
The Tower of Ivor. The Archmage Ivor raised it himself.
What can you tell me about this Archmage?
Very little. I just know the legend. The city was on hard times. There was a plague. The clerics were keeping it at bay, but there wasn't anything to stop it. And then the Archmage Ivor arrived and was able to conjure up a cure. It saved the people, and in return, they gave him a plot of land in the center of the city. Within a couple of years, he had turned that into a school, and then that school became a tower, and now we have what we have. But I don't really know that much about the Archmage himself. That was a long time ago.
Who would be in charge of the magic tower now? Do you know?
I'm not even allowed on the grounds. No, they keep people like me away from there.
People like you.
I don't
Ye-
like these people already.
Yeah, people like me. And she lifts up her apron to show you that all the way up one of her legs, all the way down to the toes, is dragon scale.
Dragonborn.
Hardly. Just in the lineage. I had a talent for magic in my youth, but wizards being wizards, they're not very fond of those that are just naturally magically adept. So I took to the forge, and I've made a very steady living off of it. Weaving a little mystery in here and there, keeping the forge lit, that kind of thing. But I gave that life up, and I'm doing this instead now.
I'm torn. I think everybody knows about this by this point, but I'm pretty sure nobody's going to metagame this. But so I'm going to think really hard. And if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and answer here. Or I can type it out. That's fine. I have no issues.
No, just do you think?
But gonna think really hard to myself. Do I have the strength to light that forge? Do we have the strength to light that forge?
I don't know.
Seems like a pretty impressive feat, if you ask me.
You can't get to me like that.
It's worth a try. All right. I'll try complete honest.
You feel the psychic equivalent of a cat's nails in your thigh. Like, not just unwelcome, but you know that if you try to move it, it gets worse.
So you're saying I need to find the equivalent of a water bottle. I can do that. Okay.
Yeah, you can tell from what you've witnessed with her and the way that she describes her story, that she's a naturally magic adept sorcerer. She's got draconic heritage. That's where her magic comes from. But because of something that happened in her youth, she didn't take that path.
I reached into my pocket, not the one with the object we were just discussing, but another pocket. And do you remember the red gem?
Yeah. Okay.
I hand it to her.
That's a lot.
in my culture, you always gift someone for a story and or information, and you did not ask for anything from me. Thank you
Don't-
for the guidance on what I believe I need to do. And also thank you for trusting that I was telling the truth.
Well, you you seem like the type to keep a promise.
Aye. Also, in my culture, those who do not show appreciation deserve none.
Well said. I should get back to things, but it's been a pleasure talking to you, Amir.
Aye. Oh, when should we come back?
We and all of a sudden she notices that the two of you are not alone. Uh, maybe give me 2 weeks for the next piece.
Well, bargain and done.
That's yes. Benny can show you the way out. And she pulls her goggles back down and heads back over to the forge.
And before I say the next part, she was handing us the vest, right? Or one of the small pieces.
She was handing you the
vest?
vest. Yeah.
Okay. So I hand the vest to Tonks. You are gonna love this. Trust me.
Trust you.
Yeah. It's gonna be super great. So the first thing that you need to know about your thanks, Ryan. I just saw the updated list. The first thing that you need to know about Dragon Scale is that it gives you fire resistance. So yeah. So you've got let's see, that's gonna be a +4 to AC. And it's light enough that it doesn't give you any minuses on your skill checks.
Yay.
Yeah, that's a pretty stout piece of armor you got there. That's essentially feather light.
How do
And
I? Oh, sorry.
nigh unbreakable.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, blacksmith person.
Dragon Scale is the shiznits.
Yeah, so as you exit the forge area with Benny the Warforged, the look on him, he doesn't even have a face. It's not, there's optics, there's no mouth. But the look on his face is that he knows what you did, William. He knows that you have paid for something great. And he is just fascinated by you. How did you get to be how you are?
When I started off, I didn't know what a law or a rule was. I did what I wanted, went where I wanted, stole beer from the adults. I didn't do very many nice things. But there was this very, what's a polite term? Mean jackass of a dwarf. He took me under his arm, literally beat some sense into my forehead. And he taught me a better way to live that actually made me proud to see myself in a reflection or a mirror.
That was a very sad story. I regret that you told me, and I feel worse for it. Thank
It's got
you
a
for
happy
that
ending.
terrible memory.
For the record, that wasn't my story. On the fly.
Right. Yeah, now more confused than when he started. The Warforged leads you to the gate. And then escorts the next person in line up, who grumblingly looks back at you, snorts, and then heads off towards the forge. Goliath, long black braid down the back of his head, rippling muscles covered in tattoos that look like wolf bites. So now you've each had your own individual thing. Is there anything you need to do?
I need to go ask some questions at a certain tower, but
Yeah.
What time of day?
Heather?
What time of day is it? By this point, it's probably closer to like 9 a.m. You still have a lot of day, but that doesn't mean that you can't turn in. Effectively, once you've done anything in the city that you are last minute wanting to do before the night market, then I'm ready for us to move forward.
Well, if I recall correctly, Ymir was pretty gung-ho on that tower thing. And magic is always cool to witness. So I think I'd tell River and no, I can't remember his name.
Emil?
Thank you, Emil. After they were done with the blacksmith, they were gonna head toward the tower, so we could probably meet up with them there.
Okay.
Kelly, Heather, you okay with that?
Yes.
Great. So then, yeah, you meet outside the grounds of Ivor Tower. Probably takes another hour or so for you to get there, but yeah. Everyone assembles, and you now see that Lord Dadu and River have Emil with them.
Emil, always happy to see you. Appreciate the help with the items. And I wink.
Wait, which one were you? I don't think I recall seeing you.
This is going to be funny someday. Someday I'll tell you.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
And at that
River, all of your friends are weird.
Emil is a really big deal.
I know, it's great. I love it.
Oh no, that one sings.
Welcome.
and at that I'm gonna explain that Emil is gonna come with us to the night market. We've got another task or so to do while we're there.
What kind of task?
Well, if I told you, where would the fun be?
Well, we could be prepared for it. Call it something new.
Yes. I'd like to prepare. I mean,
Emil is going to point out the leader of the what's the name of it? Something Sparrows.
Yeah,
What's
the
name
Court
of
of Sparrows.
it? Emil is going to point out to us the leader of the Court of Sparrows, who was unkind to our friend here. I'm simply going to ask for some information in my very nice way.
Phew! Oh,
It is
Allergies.
Just make sure you wipe your beard. If you want to be certain that you're able to get there safely, there are several ways to get to the market, but the best way is if you entered from the sewer system directly below the tower.
Oh, well, that's handy.
It,
Anyway,
it's the only area that doesn't have a constant stream of Gargalar in it. I can't even say it without tasting it.
Oh,
Why? Why?
Gargler.
No one wants to know that.
I kinda do.
what'd she say?
She said, "Why do you know what Gargalar tastes like?"
And then they said that nobody wants to know that, and I said, I kind of do.
I'll tell you when you're older.
How
Old am I?
That's an excellent question.
you probably don't know.
Old enough. Sorry.
So I'm not sure what else you have planned for the day. But I'm not feeling super groovy about being out here on the streets in a town full of people that I don't know who they are that want to possibly murder me. I'm not sure what your plans are, but do they involve protecting Emil still? Is really where my head is at right
yeah.
now.
So
I'm
I-
gonna hold up the bracelet and say, yes, it involves protecting Emil.
So if we need to keep Emil a secret, don't we have a way of doing that?
Oh,
And since he's attached to you, we know we can trust him with it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I pull it out and hand it to him.
Oh, I remember this one. Wait a minute.
we did.
I told you to be
Oh
funny.
God! Here, I thought I was being clever.
Wait a minute.
That's when I nudge Torch and hopefully she takes the hint. She holds up the staff.
I was gonna say he was about to make a roll to see insight wise, but I think that just fucking does it. Yeah, he just made a 25 on his insight. So are you fucking kidding me?
The funniest part is, and I point at Lord Dotto, that one tells me I can't lie for shit.
Well,
And
comparatively.
only one of us can lie for a living.
Okay, fine.
It worked then.
Okay, this might work. Who's in charge here? Oh, great. Super. I'm sure that one has my best interest at heart. I want to remind you that they were just goons and not assassins. We don't have time for that.
I reach into my shirt and I pull out the necklace and I look at him and go, can this get all of us in or just one? Do you know?
I've only been invited in one time and I didn't have the medallion, so I assume it'll let more than one person in.
Okay. And Torch, do you still have the bag with all of our money?
Yes.
Okay.
You have a bag of money?
I wanna bet.
Yes, there's
Bag
20
of
silver.
holdings.
Hey,
Oh, yes. Well, I suppose that's the one thing you actually bought from me.
Yes.
Cool.
to be fair, we bought two things. I still have the other one.
Hmm.
And we did leave you a present.
Oh yeah, so many presents.
So Emil, this isn't for you. I look at the rest of the group and I say, in the tower, I'm specifically looking for 3 things. This is just me. 1, if they happen to have a necklace of fireball, always a good idea. 2, if there is an enchantment wizard or an enchantment book inside there, I would like to get my hands on that and see what I can do with it. There are specifically some spells that I think would be very, very useful for our future endeavors. And 3rd, I wish to find some information on anyone who might be powerful enough that they took out that dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, Dotto, you missed it. River. So the forge used to be run by a dragon, and now it's not. It's cold. It has to be reactivated by a dragon. At least that's the impression that I got of the whole thing. But, well, you know that dragon that was flying towards your city that was killed a little while ago?
What?
Yeah, Emil, did you see it?
What? What? Wait, what? What dragon? What dragon?
You didn't see the dragon, the giant red dragon above your city that got nailed by a big white beam of light and got incinerated?
What part of what dragon didn't you understand? What dragon?
I look
Would
at
I have
Torch
seen
and
it or no?
Something funky's going on here, guys.
Yeah, because didn't Emil's people or whatever, weren't they at the dragon?
No, those were just little tiny dragon guys.
Those were
But,
kobolds.
Yeah, those were kobolds. And Emil's people wanted information from you because you had heard something on the street, but it didn't
The-
necessarily have to do with the dragon.
What it was is that Kelly showed up to buy bags of holding and then showed a ton of gold to buy bags of holding and was like, hey, where did you find all of that gold? There must have been somewhere that you got it.
Oh, that's right. And then his people followed us. They didn't actually know about the dragon.
They didn't
Right.
know about the dragon. They didn't know about how you got the treasure. They just knew you had a shit ton of treasure and it came from somewhere.
And so they followed us
Right.
and then baked in a square.
Right. And then they were murdered by the Easy Bake Oven.
Uh,
Most terrifying way to go, I swear.
it's the music
Anyway.
box from hell.
Oh my god.
But she's on our
Okay.
side, so that's what matters.
It really puts somebody in the hot seat.
ha!
Okay. So Emil puts on the mask and immediately assumes the form of a regular like blonde, blue-eyed elf. All right, cool. So I fit in now. Do I mix with your super hype group?
Close. Could
It'll
you
work.
do green eyes? And then I point to my eyes. Could you do green eyes? Just saying.
You know, I could, but I feel like if I do it, I'm just giving in to you at this point. I mean, I feel like I should just not do it just because you told me to. That seems fair.
So be it. You know, I'm just thinking if we're going in here and there's an elf with green eyes and a blonde haired, blue eyed elf, you know, they might look more. Just making you a little more unassuming, I guess, maybe. But you know, whatever. You do you.
Which actually brings me to a different point. Brooke, has your character been inside the wizard's tower?
Ooh. Good question.
I'm gonna let you make that choice, Brooke.
I'm too tired to make any more choices tonight. Don't know.
Maybe.
Um,
maybe
Continue.
Yeah, I'm actually about
It's
ready
determined.
for us to tap out for the night.
Okay,
Um,
Tired.
so you guys okay if we start, I was gonna say we go in the tower and if there's a secret way in, then we go the secret way. But how do you guys feel about those 3 goals?
Lord Dado also just wants to, investigate around the tower, see what may be laying around.
okay.
I'm down too.
Yeah, so as you walk into the grounds, you notice just inside of the walls, there are these crystals that are probably about the size of soccer balls that are mounted about every 50 feet or so along the wall. And if the light hits it just right, you can see a beam of light coming from each one of them, and they are tracking each of you as you step through the center of this outer like grounds and down the main thoroughfare towards the tower. Once you reach the tower, there's a pedestal, almost like a podium, next to this lush garden, but there is no door into the tower. There is, however, a place on the pedestal for you to put your medallion on.
Okay. I keep a hold of it, but I place it.
Okay. As you put it down, you feel this sort of rush of air come up from the ground and just it's sudden enough that it even blows your beard up into your face. And then
Know that
you
feeling.
you feel all of you lift off of the ground. And you are now being carried seemingly on nothing until you get just beyond the walls where the light can hit it directly, and you can see this faint iridescent purple shimmering platform. And you hear a voice plainly around you. Thank you for coming to the special elevator. That's where I'm going to call game, guys.
Awesome.
Whoop whoop. The special elevator.